Hey babes, welcome back to Pretty Girl Rich Era. Today we're talking about something every woman has faced at least once: heartbreaks and breakups. If you're feeling lost, stuck, and wondering how to move forward, I've got you covered. This video is like your ultimate big sister advice session, but with a twist. I'll be mixing in clips from other creators, some inspiring compilations, and of course, my own personal commentary to give you the full perspective. By the end of the video, you'll feel empowered, confident, and ready to step back into your pretty girl rich era, like the queen you are, of course. So grab a favorite drink, settle in, and stay tuned because you don't want to miss a single jam.
Welcome to Reminders for After a Breakup. I know you feel like your heart's about to fall out of your chest, okay? I have a few words as someone who's been through it. So here we go. This one helps a lot. You were happy before them, and you're gonna be happy after them, okay? There was a time in your life where you didn't even know who this person was. And think about that. You were fine. You were the magic in the relationship. The fact that you're able to be that heartbroken over somebody means that you brought all this love and care and spark into the relationship. That's all you. That is all you. It was not a waste of time. I hate when people say, oh my gosh, that was a waste of my 2 years of my life. It's never a waste. You're learning what you like and what you don't like in the future. And it probably taught you a lot. Time. Give it time. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to wallow in bed for days. It's okay to randomly cry in public. Time is the main thing that'll help. You will get your sparkle back. If you're feeling dull or like you'll never return to your original personality, everyone feels like that. And you will get your sparkle back. Oh my God, where did I go?
Date them until you hate them. And I know that for some people that might seem like a controversial sentence, but the truth is you will not let go of that person and you will not move on from that person until you are ready to do that. You might be in a position where your friends and family are reminding you, remember when he did this, or he did this, or he said this, and you're listening to them, but you're not hearing them. Because you don't want to hear them right now. You don't want to hear those negatives about this person that you care about. You don't want to acknowledge their red flags because you're not at that point yet. The right friends and family, especially if they've been through it before, will understand that moving on and that letting go and fully committing to that choice comes from you. And that is why sometimes the idea of date them until you hate them can work on occasions, because you get to a point yourself where you've had enough. You get to a point yourself where you realise I'm better than this, and you choose to let go and you choose to walk away because you're finally in a position where you see him the same way that everyone else does. But if you are not at that point yet, that is okay. And I know that sometimes it can be frustrating when you see someone going back to a situation that isn't good for them, and it's so obvious that it isn't good for them. But remember that you have so much clarity when you're outside of a situation. Love is blind, and caring about someone and deciding to just walk away isn't always the easiest thing to do, even if it is the best thing to do long term. You go through that process, and I promise you, things will figure themselves out, and you will realise what you deserve and what you don't deserve, and you will find the strength to walk away if that is what you need to do.
How to get over someone and how to start viewing this breakup as the best thing that could have ever happened to you. And this coming from someone who has had their heart broken multiple times. So I created a foolproof way on how to get through a breakup, how to get over someone, not go back, and come out of it 10 times sexier. First step is accepting that it's done. I know that this is hard and you want to know why this person broke your heart. If there was anything that you could have done differently, you guys wouldn't have ended if you could have done this. Know, my love, that there's nothing that you can do to be enough for a person that you are not meant to be with. And if you could lose them, you are not meant to be with them. And now you're one step closer to the person who you are meant to be with. And I need you to understand and see that. Once you've accepted that, there are going to be a lot of feelings that come with it. And I want you to let yourself feel every single thing as intensely as you possibly can. I used to be like, oh no, I'm not going to be sad because that's going to mean that this person is winning, No, they already lost because they lost you, and you already won because you got away. So allow yourself to be human and feel the normal feelings that come with any type of loss. Cry, scream right now if you can. Sing sad music. When I'm going through a breakup, people be thinking that I'm crazy because I will literally be driving and screaming at the top of my lungs just to let out as much aggression as I can. And then you're gonna journal how you feel. Write down exactly how you feel and just let it all out. Bottling all your emotions up is just gonna prolong the hurt. The third step is, while you're sad and while you're angry, you are going to write out every single bad thing that this person is making you feel. You're gonna write down everything you don't like about them, all the arguments, all the fights, all the times that they made you feel insecure or worthless. And if you can't remember, ask your friends, because I promise you they'll remember. Stop romanticizing it and saying, oh yeah, but I remember when he smiled at me, or I remember when she was touching me. No, don't remember those good moments. Honestly, just leave them in the past. Only write down the moments where he gave you the ick. Write down the moments where you didn't like something that they did. And when you revisit that list and when you read through that list, you're gonna see that you're worthy of so much more. And that is step 4. Once you've felt everything, once you've stopped romanticizing it, you are going to pour all of that love that you were giving to that person into yourself. You can have that much love for the wrong person. Just imagine how much love you're gonna have for the right person and how much love you can have for yourself. Okay, all the things that you were doing for that person, start doing it for yourself. You were waking up every single morning and tending to that person, texting that person, asking them how they slept. No, ask yourself how you slept. I don't care. Ask yourself, what can I do for me today? Go into the mirror, start doing mirror work, telling yourself how much you love you. Write down all your goals. You are so much more worthy than they are of that love that you were giving them, that amazing love. You have so much love to give, so give it to yourself. Start leveling up mentally and physically. Start going to the gym. Start doing whatever that you need to do in order to become your best self. That's why you gave yourself that time, because now I don't want you to think about them. There's money to be made. You don't have $100,000 in your bank account. You're over here being sad over a man. Go chase a bag. You have dreams that you want to fulfill, and you lost sight of those when you were in that relationship, so go and chase them. And now this is the step that you don't want to hear, but if you truly want to forget about someone, you have to cut contact with them. And I know that this is hard, but this is truly the key to getting over someone. Don't reach out to them and say, oh yeah, but I just need closure, or oh yeah, I just want to tell them that I'm over them, or don't have them on social media because you want to show them that you're doing better than them, because that is still giving them power over you. You're gonna post a picture and every single time you're gonna be looking for their view. No, they don't deserve any space in your mind anymore. Leave it alone. Delete the number, delete the text thread, delete all the pictures. I know sometimes we want to keep the pictures because we want to be like, okay, but I want to have the memories. No girl, F the memories. Like, who cares? Leave it alone. Cut all contact with this person and just delete any trace of them. If you have something of theirs, depending on how they did you, either burn it or throw it out. Like, it doesn't matter. And the last and final step is just knowing that it gets better. I promise you it gets better. If you have the mindset of, oh no, I'm never gonna move on, I'm just always gonna be in love with this person, then that's how it's gonna be. You have to know and recognize that it hurts right now, but you are not always gonna feel like this. No feeling lasts forever. You are destined for some amazing and great things, and not everybody can come with you where you're going. Sometimes God reveals certain things to us so that we can cut those people off to get to where we need to go. So you're one step closer to your dream life, and you're also one step closer to the person who you're meant to be with. So I know it's hard right now, and I know that it feels like it's the end of the world, but know that this is the start of something so beautiful. Also, don't underestimate how fun it is to be single, especially when you're young and sexy like us. You got this, and I'll see you in 2 months when you're over them, okay? I love you. Bye.
I only have one piece of advice for anyone who's looking to get over a breakup that's worth sharing. Everyone always tells you to stay busy, distracted, hang out with friends, go out, don't stay at home by yourself, which I know works for a lot of people and it's not bad advice, but listen. In my opinion, I think the best way to get over a breakup is by letting yourself do whatever you want to like a healthy extent. If you feel depressed and you want to cry, do it. If you want to eat junk food, do it. When you start to feel that motivation and you want to go outside, do it. You need to become the person that you depend on to fulfill your needs. You need to build that trust with yourself that you will figure it out and you will get to where you need to be one step at a time. You don't have that person to like depend on and latch on to. That person is you, baby. Give yourself what you want. Build that strong relationship with yourself, and then you'll be able to move forward.
One of the best ways to get over someone, get over a situation, get over hurt, get over betrayal, get over lying, and all of that is to accept and move forward. Let me explain. So let's say that you just found out that your boyfriend of 4 years has been lying, betraying you, cheating on you, and was just there for himself. Like he was a selfish cunt. The ego is automatically going to kick in, and you're going to start like raging and being like, oh my God, like this person did this to me. They lied to me. They betrayed me. I need them to know that what they did to me is wrong. So you start typing out all the texts, you start calling, you start showing up, you start like your ego is taking it in charge. It's like, yo, I'm about to fight this person, which I mean, they deserve it. Absolutely. Valid. But I have this mindset where it's, if I'm crying more than the other person is crying, I need to change my mindset and I need to let it go. Because if I'm crazier in a situation than the other person is towards me, that means that they have power over me. And I'm a very proud Leo. That can't happen. So in order to get over that little ego emotion and like overthinking and anxiety and like rage, you have to have the mindset of, it is what it is. You accept it, and it's full acceptance of the situation. All right, I accept that in the past, this person used me, abused me, and I was naive and I didn't see the red flags, and I accept the situation as it is. And the ego is not going to like that. The ego is not going to like the fact that you're going to say, I saw the red flags and I ignored them, and you know what? I accept it. I was naive. I accept it. Your ego is not going to like, I'm saying it right now, and like my ego is kicking in. It's like, no, like it's all his fault. It doesn't matter if it's all his fault. It really doesn't matter. You have to accept it and move forward. And you have to move forward with that acceptance, because when you accept it, you detach from the situation, you detach from the person. That person no longer has any power over you. You stop thinking about them automatically, just like this. And when the thought comes, you have to say, okay, it is what it is, whatever. Like, he doesn't exist in my reality anymore. He doesn't exist in your reality anymore. That situation does not exist in your reality anymore, because you accepted it and you moved forward. You learned what you needed to learn. Because if you keep clinging on to that situation, you're still going to be attached to that situation and to that person. That means that part of you still hasn't learned what it needed to learn. So you're still like going back and like looking back and be like, okay, what can I do so that next time it doesn't happen? But there's not going to be a next time, because next time, the next boyfriend that you're going to have, he's going to be a good guy, because you're shifting timelines and you have a more positive mindset and you're better for it. And you have to have confidence that you're going to be okay. If you keep looking back, you're telling the universe that you haven't learned your lesson. Move forward, accept, move forward. I accept it. I failed that exam. I move forward. That's it.
Tis the season, end of summer, a time when a lot of people are going through it with a tough breakup. Believe me, sister, I've been there. Here is my top advice for going through a breakup. But first, let's go through my credentials. I have been through a breakup with someone who was the wrong person, and I've been through a breakup with the man I ended up marrying. And I think this is an important distinction, because I've been through a breakup with the right guy and the wrong guy, and honestly, my advice does not really change. We'll get to why that is later, but first, advice. Now, if we know anything about breakups, men and women do tend to handle them differently. Generally speaking, women tend to process, get really sad first, and then get over it. Men tend to go out, avoid their feelings, and then it hits them and comes crumbling down later. That's why the saying goes, you know, they always come crawling back. All right, now the first thing you need to do is the hardest thing. You need to rip the band-aid off and go completely no contact, block them on everything. It's hard. They were your best friend. You want to stay friends. You have plenty of friends. Y'all don't need to be friends. Next thing, distract yourself and lean on your girlfriends. Feel everything you need to feel. Sulk, feel bad for yourself. Have a girls' night in with a ton of ice cream and snacks and rom-coms. Shut your phone off and lean on the people who love you. One of the hardest parts about a breakup is the change in your lifestyle. So yeah, you want to distract yourself. Change is really hard. So you want to fill that time and that void with something else that's positive. The gym, female friendships, a new hobby. Pick one thing that you've been putting off in terms of bettering yourself and do it. I remember when I did this, I felt so empowered that there were like parts of me and aspects of me now that person no longer gets to see. Like, I'm becoming a better version of myself and they never get to have it. This next one is probably an unpopular opinion, but be impulsive if you need to. If you want to change your hair or get a tattoo or do something that distinguishes you from the version of you that you were when you were with them, I'm all for it. Now, next one, I'm gonna put a tangent on that. I don't think that applies to rebounds. Do what you want, do whatever is best for you, but in my experience, rebounds are nothing but painful. Hookups are whatever, you know, it happens. But if you are actually rebounding, you are looking to fill a void. You are looking for a quick fix to replace who that person was to you. You need to get comfortable with yourself and who you are alone. And I know, It's not fun. Next, make an X list. Doesn't matter if it's mean, he's never gonna have to see it. Take out your notes app and list out all the reasons that he was wrong for you. All the reasons you broke up, all the reasons why he wasn't your person. So you can take that out when you're having a moment and remember when you're clouded by your emotions and your memories of, oh, how great everything was. You can bring yourself back down to earth and reality. But that leads me to my next point. Your mind will mess with you and block out all the bad memories and only allow you to remember all the good things. It's natural, it's part of it, but be conscious of this. It wasn't until years later that I really reflected and processed everything where I was like, oh my God, actually all of that stuff that happened to me was really, really fucked up. And of course at the time I was like, oh my gosh, we love each other so much, love conquers all, we just have to push through. And it can take you years to realize it. More often than not, you don't miss them or the relationship, you miss the way you felt. And guess what? You're gonna feel it again. It's funny, I have a lot of friends who have gone through bad breakups and it's like a lot of times you wanna shake them because you're like, you were the most interesting thing about them. The things that you're remembering and how great things were, they were you. Now you might be thinking, Anna, didn't you say in the beginning that you ended up marrying one of the guys in these breakups? Yes, which leads me to my next point. What's meant for you will never pass you by. If this person truly is your person, it's gonna happen. But you broke up and there's a reason why you broke up. So circumstances have to change in order for you guys to potentially work in the future. Do not drag your feet and waste this time ruminating on the past or doing anything but actively trying to move forward and better yourself. My husband and I were in a very casual relationship that like escalated at the end of college and we broke things off. And honestly, I feel really grateful that we did because during that time where we didn't talk and had no contact with each other, we became such different people. We graduated college, we matured so much. I got to go out and date and figure out what I really wanted out of a partner. And it just solidified things for me. Like every time I went on a date, my mind went back to Sam. But even though I was like devastated at the time, I am so grateful for that because I needed that. And he did too. Like, I don't know if we would have worked out if we hadn't taken that time. Think about it this way. There are two options in this situation. You find your way back to each other after you've both grown and changed, or you find someone who is an even better match for you. If I wouldn't have gone through that first breakup with my ex-boyfriend of 6 years, who I totally was convinced was, you know, my best friend and the person I was gonna marry, I never would have met Sam and I never would have known how good I could have it. Every hurt in your life is leading you to the person you're meant to be and the person you're meant to be with.
I don't know why women don't talk about this more when it comes to breakups, but this is the mindset that you need to get yourself into in order to get through this. My name is Naraya Amari and I am a healing coach, so if you are on a healing journey, make sure that you follow me for more information and advice and tips and all of that, the vibes. So first things first, you have to understand that that person is not as special as you are making them out to be, and this is why. We have a tendency of creating a character in our head of who we think a person is, despite what they show us in real life. And so you have to try to differentiate between what's in your head, what you want in your heart, and what this person is actually showing you. The patterns of their character traits, the patterns of their behaviors, their consistency, the things that they're actually showing you in real life in the way that it's really making you feel, not just what's in your head. Because I guarantee you, if you were to describe that man to any of your friends or anybody who loves you, they will look you dead in your face and tell you, he does not seem that special. When we are lacking something, we will figure out a way to find it, whether it's fictional and in our head or real life and in reality. We will find a way to fill that need and fill that void. And 9 times out of 10, we do that with our romantic partners, whether or not they actually fit the criteria that we need. You wasn't really standing on business when you chose him, so you're going to do better next time around. And that brings me to the next point, which is even if that person is a good person and was a good person to you, if the relationship has ended, you have to be okay with understanding that that was not for you. The more that you try to hold on to what you have, the more you will block what is coming your way. You have to let go in order to receive something new. But you want to hold something so tight to you because you think you're not going to find something else. And because you think you're not going to find something else, you're not going to find something else. So let that man go.
2 years ago, I went through probably the hardest heartbreak of my life. And as someone who went from not knowing if she was even going to make it through that to now being in the healthiest relationship I have ever been in, I hope that my story can leave you with a little bit of hope if you're currently going through it and going through a heartbreak. Please hear me when I tell you that you will get back even more than you think you thought you lost. I know we all have our plans, but God's plan is bigger and it's better. He cares about every little thing that you care about and he wants you to be happy. 99% of the time, we just don't know what he's doing behind the scenes, but one day, I promise you, it'll make sense. Little did I know back then that just a few months after my relationship ended, my current boyfriend's long-term relationship ended as well. And while I was going through all the self-reflection and the therapy and all the hard work I did to better myself, he was doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. We just didn't know it. And it sucked for both of us, but we have both said that we would go through it again and again if it meant that we would get to where we are now. So let go of the mentality of, oh, I wasted X amount of years on this person, and change your mentality to, oh, I saved myself from 40, 50 years with the wrong person. If you loved that person that much, imagine how much you're gonna love the right person. You were somebody before that person, and you will be somebody after that person. You're gonna be fine, babe.
If you didn't know, men move on or appear to move on quicker because they do not process their emotions. So post-breakup, yes, he's out here living La Vida Loca on the town with the honeys, shaking ass, throwing ones because he's probably poor, okay? And you are sitting at home feeling bad for yourself, okay? There's nothing to feel bad about in 6 months when you, okay, when you are finally over it because you've watched all of my videos and you were committed to yourself, healing, fixing everything. Well, not everything, but like you were committed to yourself, okay? You did the growth, you did the work. Baby, you are popping out. You're popping out, and who's trying to turn back the corner, okay? He is, because he has not processed his feelings. This is how post-breakup works, okay? He appears to move on quickly. You are like, oh my God, he never really loved me, okay? He's a loser, as we know. We always know this, but the girls always need me to remind you. Always need me to remind you of this, okay? He's a loser. We know this. I know this. I know this. I need you to know this, okay? And yes, you're gonna have a good day. You can have a great day. You can have an amazing, stunning, gorgeous, beautiful, great day, because are you a great person? Yes, the fuck you are. Is he a great person? Question mark. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You need to stop focusing on them. Also, why do we know that he's on a holiday with a new girl? He's not blocked. Nobody listens to me. And I have to tell you, this is where you guys are the problem. Nobody listens to me, okay? My friends don't even listen to me with the block situation. The only reason you are finding this shit out, and you know this, is because you're creeping, you're lurking, and you're hurting your own motherfucking feelings, okay? What happens after a breakup? Oh my God, blocked. It is the end. It is the closing of a chapter. It is the moving forward, okay? I have to tell you that I tell you guys all to put a block in place, because you're not strong enough to not have a block in place. And I'm not calling you out specifically. I'm calling everybody out, okay? Very rarely are you strong enough to not do the block, okay? He should be blocked, and you should not be engaging in his life. His life is none of your business anymore. Just like your life is none of his business anymore. I had a best friend, literally, she's still going through this. It's been a year. It's been a year for her. I don't want it to be a year for you too. If you just listen to me and put a block in place, a year from now, you'll be vibing and thriving. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to help you. You should take the advice and move on. That's what we're doing with this. We are closing the chapter and moving on.
People don't run away from great people. I don't know who needs to hear this, but people do not run away from great people. People run away from the parts of themselves that they would have to fix to be with a great person. If you're currently stuck or having a hard time letting someone go or understanding as to why they left your life, if you are so amazing and you treated them so good and you have so many things and so many qualities to offer and it still wasn't enough, know that it is not you, and they are not running away from you, and they are not running away from everything that you have to offer, but they are running away from themselves and from the inner work that they know that they would have to do to be with you. And again, that has nothing to do with you. If someone wants to walk away, let them. Because if you force them to stay, you are going to be stuck with a person that has a lot of inner work to do to actually be able to appreciate you and give you what you actually deserve.
So, to wrap up, my biggest advice is to stay until you genuinely can't anymore. Unless, of course, you're in immediate danger or dealing with abuse. That's a completely different story, and I'd never recommend staying in those situations. But if it's not that, staying until you're truly done can sometimes give you the clarity and closure you need. That's what I did. I stayed until I couldn't stand the person anymore or until their actions just didn't affect me at all. Another tip is to get out sooner. Don't stay cooped up like I did for most of my relationship. I stayed in the house way too much. And honestly, I think it was a mix of manipulation and my own internal struggles. I might make a video of that, but not right now. But looking back, I wish I had kept my connections with people outside the relationship. And then again, I don't. That's why I say it's just a mix, because some of those people were fake and I really shouldn't have been around them in the first place before the relationship. And stay connected. But if you can stay connected, it makes it so much easier to bounce back. Like, for real, if you got some genuine friends, which I do. I had a few. And I did stay connected with them, but I wasn't really doing my part. And finally, pick up new hobbies. Ones that get you out of the house, meeting new people, and trying new things. When you're learning and exploring, your mind naturally shifts focus and the breakup slowly becomes less of a priority. Like, trust me, because you're trying to figure out how to do this new thing. So, of course, that breakup is going to have to be put on the back burner. But let me also say this. If you're not ready to do all that yet, it's okay. Go with the flow just like I did. Healing takes time, and these steps are just tips for when you're ready to rediscover yourself after the pain starts to fade. I really hope this big sister advice helps, because I've been there, and trust me, it does get better. I used to hear people say that all the time when I was in the thick of it, and I was like, child, don't nobody want to hear this, but it's true. Please just take my advice and keep going. One day at a time, one foot in front of the other. Especially if you've been in a long-term relationship since you were younger, growth and change are inevitable. Sometimes you just outgrow the person, and that's okay. Now, before you go, don't forget to check out my 30-day journal planner. It's perfect for helping you reflect, heal, and get back to your best self. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below with any tips you have for getting over a breakup or bouncing back after a breakup. Let's keep this conversation going. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay strong, stay beautiful, and keep living your pretty girl rich era. Bye, loves.